Good morning, people. How are you today? How's everything going? Alright, start off with we got a shooting down in Texas with ICE Center. Uh, Apparently, one person is dead, a couple are injured, the shooter's dead, self inflicted gunshot wound. I don't know, we'll find out about that. Um, That just means they couldn't catch him before he shot himself, you know? Doesn't say a lot for the law enforcement in Dallas. Well, Dallas is used to snipers and stuff like that. Texas has had more sniper situations than I think the rest of the country has. The bell tower, where I can't remember the guy's name, but he killed something like 23 people before they shot and killed him. You got the Kennedy assassination. You've had a few other shootings down there. You know, it's still a Wild West in Texas to a certain degree, not wholly. I mean, it's got some really nice towns and everything. I'm not against Texas. I'm just against the government in Texas. Anyhow, that's digress. So apparently he shot from another rooftop. Nobody knows why or what's going on. And of course, Vance is already saying that it's all because of the violence against police officers in the United States. Now, there's no indication that the violence was because the two wounded people are inmates. So we have to figure out what's going on there. This could be just a family feud going on. You know, you don't know. You know, it could have been that they didn't want to go back and they contracted him to shoot them. You don't know anything. But Vance seems to think he knows everything. Vance has got a serious problem like that, you know, and he's going to be a real pleasure to have as president. I don't think he can get elected, but I think he can, you know, if something happens to Trump, that's what you have to worry about. But I don't think on his own he can get elected. I think between now and 2028, that somebody will do something. The Republicans will do something about Vance, especially after the midterms. All right. Now, yesterday, Trump went and spoke before the General Assembly of the UN. They give these guys 15 minutes. They all go over. He went over an hour. And I listened to some of it, and I think he definitely... You definitely have to have him escorted by guys in white coats so they can inject him with whatever it is they inject him with to keep him sane. Because he's definitely out there, folks. I'm sorry, but he's definitely reaching for the sky. You know, and I don't think that's really what you want to see in a president. He just big smile on his face and says a lot of stupid shit. And this is another one of these examples of, you know, where you hear about it and then you get to see something like this and you understand what everybody else is talking about. He has no idea what he's saying or doing. He has no formal plan for anything. And, you know, we're at the mercy of this guy, you know. All right, continuing on. Trump told NATO to shoot down planes that violate their airspace. I have no problem with that, except that that'll probably start some major conflicts in areas. You know, don't know what they're. You know, don't have any clue as to what the effects of that would be. But I can't see Putin sitting still like the U.S. would sit still. Trump wouldn't get upset, you know. But if it was our country's jets that were shot down, well, Putin will flip out. I think he will. He's looking for excuses to start other problems, you know. Let's see. Oh, the Jewish state is talking about there's a real estate bonanza after they destroy everybody and kill everybody in Gaza, you know, and that's Trump's idea. He wants to turn it into he wants to build a resort there, you know. which, it just makes it a target for everybody in the world, and I don't think I want to be there, I think the Arab world's got to start thinking on their own. And Saudi Arabia's got the right idea. He says you got to unite the Arab world before you can go out and deal with the United States, because the United States can't be trusted anymore. Saudi Arabia had a great deal for years and years and years. I don't know who was the first president to make the deal with Saudi Arabia, but they did. That's going back probably to the days of Saudi Arabian, what was it, Aramco Oil Company. When there was a bunch of American oil companies that went over there with Saudi Arabia to develop the country's oil resources, so that's what made them all the money they have. And that there's some sort of deal after that took place. I don't know what it is, but I know it's a deal because I told you we go back to the situation in 9/11 where the only plane flying was a jet taking Saudi Arabia Prince home. That's the kind of shit you got. That's in the world, I think. That was the only jet flying. That wasn't a combat plane. All right. I think, based upon what I'm seeing, I think that ICE agents, when they come into town, need to be stopped and unmasked and photographed, and then, they can do what they want if they have paperwork. But if they don't have the papers, I don't think they should just be able to do these no-knock searches and everything like that. I don't think that's really productive to anything, other than, it gives them the right later on to kick your door down for no reason at all and pull you off your wife. Even if you're having sex with your wife, pull you off your wife, lock you up, because they don't like the position you're using. I'm serious. Trust me, I've seen this before. Because there are laws on the books that people don't know about saying that certain sexual positions are taboo. They're against the law, So, careful there. There is another little thing going on. I don't know how many of you have seen this, that there's I just found out about this yesterday afternoon. There's a plan to have news media sign a pledge to restrict reporting. Restrict reporting. Why bother reporting if it's going to be restricted, Journalism doesn't sound like a great career anymore. I don't think it was a great career. It was a hard work. It was hard to make money in journalism. It's always been hard to make money in journalism. You have to be very, very good at what you do. Now you just have to know the right people, So that's a problem there. So. Jimmy Kimmel was back last night. Took Trump apart. That's not hard to do for a comedian, Trump's a huge target. He doesn't have the brains to know how to combat them. All he'll do is stand up there and say, I'm going to put you in jail. No smart comebacks, because he's not smart enough to make a comeback, to do it. He's just Donald Trump. Dumbass president of the United States. But that's a big deal, President of the United States. Even though I think a lot of people are starting to begin to come up with the theory that he's not the President of the United States, that there are other people running him, like Stephen Miller and a few other people that are from the Project 2025 deal that are running him, and he's just mouthing off and doing what he ever wants to. And the dangerous thing is we have the most unqualified cabinet in the history of the United States. Maybe the first one was unqualified because they didn't know anything about world affairs back then or anything else. But this one, in this day and age, we have the most unqualified cabinet in the country. We have a maniac. Don't know what the guy's problem is, and Robert Kennedy. He's a disgrace to the Kennedy family. The Kennedy family doesn't even talk about him anymore. He's a disgrace to the family. He's a disgrace to the principles that his brother died for. And I think he's just crazy. He's a total and complete whack job. And very, very extremely dangerous man, and we're going to pay the price for it. So, even if you eliminate him, you're still going to, because he agrees with Trump, and Trump is dumb as dog shit when it comes to science. He doesn't believe in science. I think he must have failed all the science classes in high school and college. And that he had to pay the professors to get the grades, Wouldn't be the first one. But who else is Nick? Well, you have Vance. Vance is smart, but he's dangerous smart. He's not cool smart. He's two-faced. I mean, you can't deal with the man that called the president of the United States a year and a half or something like that before he was chosen to be vice president, called him a Nazi and called him Hitler, and then now he's doing he's playing Himmler or whatever, the second in command to Hitler, who was named, And that's and then you got Hedsworth, the Secretary of Defense. There's another brainstormer. That guy's dangerous. Naomi's dangerous. I mean, they're just stupid. Patel is another one. Patel has been caught on more times taking government jets to fly from Washington, D.C. to a racetrack or a party or whatever. That's just the way he is. He doesn't care about anything else. He's there. This is just I think they gave him the job just to keep him from opening his mouth up and going to war with Elon. We'll see what happens there. Rumor has that Elon's coming back because Kirk died. Well, I guess Spock came back because Kirk died too, so we'll see about that. I tell you, there's just so much stupidity out there that it's difficult to it's very, very difficult to see us accomplishing anything spectacular in the next couple of years, other than oh, whoops, what did I do wrong here? Other than the destruction of democracy, and I don't think there's any sense that anything good is going to come out of the next 4 years, or quite possibly for a while. The Democrats won another special election. They should understand that. The Virginia Republican calls the rural health clinics closures due to Trump budget bill a win. I gotta tell you something. When people start dying because of Trump, and it can be directly pointed at something Trump does, then things are going to get really out of fucking control. That's the other thing. Here's another thing. Americans aren't as divided as we're made to think we are, and that's true, unfortunately. Really is a shame, but white supremacy's been around I told you that's been around for a long, long time. The Nazi Party in the United States has been active since beginning of, I guess, before the beginning of World War II. And they say Trump's announcement linking Thai and autism is already doing major damage. Eh, I don't think I don't think anybody can actually think it causes that. But drugs been around too long. Autism is only a recent thing, and autism, I don't think is can be. Uh, I think you get a better chance of having an autistic child if you go out and drink when during pregnancy and stuff like that. You know, and be crazy, do drugs and stuff like that. I think there's a higher degree of probability than if you just take Tylenol. And you got Trump going around pretending he's qualified to give medical advice. Only if you're into witchcraft. Then maybe he's qualified. Alright, that's been around for a while. California has a mask ban. I hope so. Because then that makes the ICE agents accountable for what they're doing, you know? Just like the KGB was held accountable. Most of them were shot. Some of them got away and that's what they had. The Jewish people are still hunting those people down. Most of them are dead now. You got Tom Harmon thing with, he took $50,000 in cash, and then Trump said, no, he didn't. They have him on tape. What's the problem? Oh, they're trying to figure out how to age the tape and everything so that they can, Now, Kamala's going after Trump for his age and everything, and Kamala should be going after for her inability, her lack of courage after she lost the election. I'm not saying she didn't have the courage before but once she lost that election, she disappeared for a while. Nobody heard anything, at least not down here. I didn't read anything. So, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I don't want somebody, that's like taking Vance. He did stuff years beforehand, and now he's, denying it. This is the same sort of deal, I don't trust Kamala. I'm sorry. I like AOC. I think I can trust her. I don't think she has a shot in hell, but I could trust her. You see, the jury found this guy, Ryan Ruth, guilty of charges of attempting to assassinate Trump. Now, see, if he had assassinated Trump, he wouldn't have to worry, because somebody would have given him a medal by now. But you still have Nexstar and Sinclair aren't carrying the Jimmy Kimmel show. That's I don't know whether that makes a whole lot of difference to Jimmy, Because if people want to see him, they'll find a way to get to the channel up, I mean, you can always get him off the internet. That's the thing people don't realize, but they're afraid of what the internet. I don't know. That's not Trump. Trump is going nuts because Kimmel came back and he's making threats against ABC. Yeah. Donnie should keep his mouth shut about this kind of stuff, about the Kimmel, and he should keep his mouth shut about the trying to God, I forgot the guy's name. Showed you. I'm having a mental fart there. The tapes that everybody's been looking for. Yeah, who cares? We all know he's on that list. We all know he's on that list. To think he's not on that list is just dumb. People are getting pissed at Trump. He's doing the Nixon thing, the enemies list, you know. And I know I made Nixon's list, you know, for things I did and said. I don't know whether I'm going to make Trump's list, and I don't really care if I'm on any list at all, really. You know? But we'll wait and see what's going on. Anyhow, that's it for today. Go hit the subscribe button. That way you don't have to see this. So you can just, you see that I'm coming on and you just, you don't even bother. You know what I mean? I get a lot of people wandering around. Some days I'll get as many as 120, 130 visitors, and some days I get none. Very strange. Could be AI screwing with me, but, you know, I don't care. I'm just having fun. You know, it's keeping me young mentally, you know. So, all right, everybody. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow. Hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.